Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, the I Teach channel, and today we are going to have a diagnostic review for the national assessment for school heads. We are going to have this decoding of the PPSHS. So, first one, we have here six high stakes scenarios. Then we have the five leadership domains, and of course, the four career stage. Take note that in our review today, we will be tackling about leading strategically, wherein it refers to the ability of the school heads to set up clear vision, formulate goals, make data-driven decisions, and implement plans that improve school performance and learner outcomes. It involves aligning programs, resources, and activities with the mission, vision, and policies of the Department of Education. Strategic leadership also includes anticipating challenges, promoting innovation, building partnership, and continuously monitoring and evaluating school improvement efforts. So let's start. Here is the blueprint of the effective school leadership. Take note that we have the unmovable center. Every domain, strengths, and career stage exists solely to produce holistically developed Filipino learners. The school effectiveness, which are domains 1, 2, and 3, which is all about managing the systems, strategies, and resources that allow teaching to thrive. And we have the people effectiveness, which is the domain 4 and 5, which is building the human capital and the community networks required to sustain a school. Okay, so checkpoint one, the core mandate. Question number one. According to the fundamental design of the PPSHS framework, what is the ultimate target that drives both school effectiveness and people effectiveness? A. Quality teachers equipped with 21st century skills. B. Holistically developed Filipino learners. C. A supportive network of stakeholders and parents. And D. Job embedded professional development. And what's your answer? The compass. So we have here visualize the official PPSH diagram. What sits the absolute dead center colored in deep red. So what is it? While teachers and stakeholders are vital, they are the engine. So what is the destination? What's your answer? Hmm? True North, holistically developed Filipino learners. The True North is the option B. Take note that the placement of learners at the center of the framework emphasizes the important role of school heads for the improvement of learner achievement. So that is based on the DepEd Order 29, Series of 2020, Section V, Item 12. Key takeaway. Every administrative decision or community connection is ultimately measured by its impact on the learner. So this is the center. Holistically developed Filipino learners. All right, checkpoint number two. This is all about assessing career stages. So we have the domain one, a case. All right, listen carefully. A principal takes charge for embedding standard evaluation processes across all departments, ensuring they become permanent, self sustaining fixtures of the school's culture. Which career stage does this represent under Strand 1.7? Monitoring and evaluation. A. Career stage number 1. B. Career stage number 2. C. Career stage number 3. Or D. Career stage number 4. The compass. Pay close attention to the verb. Is the principal just utilizing a tool? Are they designing the supplemental tool? That's stage three. Or does the phrase embedding ensuring that they become permanent fixtures point to the higher level of systematic change? So what's the answer? All right, the answer is option D. It's the career stage 4. Policy rationale, strand 1.7.4 explicitly requires the school head to lead in the institutionalization of effective monitoring and evaluation processes and tools to promote learner achievement. And what's our key takeaway here? Institutionalization. Oh my gosh, the word is so hard to pronounce. Institutionalization. It is the hallmark of stage 4, which is exemplary leader. They just they don't just use the systems, they make systems permanent. All right, take note of that. That's the stage 4. Next, we have the checkpoint number 3, which is differentiating strands. Okay, so we are going to go to the domain 4. After a severe typhoon damages the school's main building, the principal immediately coordinates with suppliers for roof repair and meticulously records the damage in the school assets registry. Which specific strand under domain 2 is being applied? A. Strand 2.5, School Safety for Disaster Preparedness, Mitigation, and Resiliency. B. Strand 2.3, School Facilities and Equipment. C. Strand 2.2, Financial Management. Or D. Strand 2.6, Emerging Opportunities and Challenges. Let's have this compass. Don't be fooled by the word typhoon. While Strand 2.5 focuses on safety protocols to ensure continuous delivery of instruction during emergencies, this scenario specifically describes the administrative process of repairing, maintaining, and recording physical assets. And the answer is option B, Strand 2.3, School Facilities and Equipment. So, policy rationale, it's the Strand 2.3, which focuses on the acquisition, recording, utilization, repair, and maintenance, storage, and disposal of facilities. The comparison matrix, take note of this, of the differentiating boundary between the strand point 2.5 and strand 2.3. So for strand 2.5, it's disaster resiliency, which is focused in on which the focus is on human safety and learning continuity during the immediately after or during and immediately after a crisis. While the 2.3, it's all about facilities and equipment. Focus is on the physical management, asset registry, repair, and maintenance of structures, even if the damage was caused by a disaster. So, what's our key takeaway? Isolate the core action. The principal is managing the physical building and asset registry, not executing an emergency safety protocol. So, take note of that. You might be confused. Next one, we have the practitioner application domain 3. So we have here a case file. A newly appointed principal receives evaluation form from parents and students. The principal directly utilizes this data to develop individual teachers address specific gaps in their classroom performance. So, what career stage or strand is being demonstrated? Career stage 1, strand 3.2, which is the teaching standard and pedagogies. B, career stage 2, strand 3.3, teacher performance feedback. C, career stage 3, strand 3.3, teacher performance feedback. Or D, career stage 2, strand 3.5, learning assessment. So, guide us. Here's the compass. The input here is evaluation forms from parents and students. That means they are the feedback, or it's the feedback. The action is directly utilizing it. Stage 1 only requires understanding the feedback. Stage 3 requires mentoring others and how to use it. So, where does the direct application fall? What's the answer? Oh, option B. Career Stage 2, Strand 3.3, Teacher Performance Feedback. So the policy rationale, its indicator 3.3.2 specifically states use validated feedback obtained from learners, parents, and stakeholders to help teachers improve their performance. So what's our key takeaway? Stage 2 is applying or managing It is characterized by the direct hands on use and implementation of tools, data, and feedback by the school head. They are the active practitioner. Then let's go to the next question. Checkpoint number five, it's expanding the circle domain for. So we have here a case file. The question is, or I mean, the case is, you organize a district wide study group where you and several other school heads analyze each other's leadership practices and share learning opportunities. Under Strand 4.2, Professional Reflection and Learning, which career stage does this peer to peer engagement represent? A. Career stage 1, B. Career stage 2, C. Career stage 3, and D. Career stage 4. So let's be guided by the compass. You have moved beyond applying reflection just to improve your own practice. That's stage number 2. You are now initiating this reflection with other school heads. You are acting as a guide and collaborator among peers. So, what do you think is the answer? Yes, it's option 3, career stage 3. Career stage 3, the policy rationale indicator 4.2.3 requires school head to initiate professional reflection and promoting learning opportunities with other school heads to improve practice. So we have here the self, which is the stage 2, but the stage 3 is together with the peers. Okay. So what's the key takeaway? Stage 3, which means engaging and mentoring, represents a shift from internal school management to collaborate engagement with fellow educational leaders. So take note of that. All right. Now the question number 3. I mean number 6. The evolution of engagement, which is the domain 5. So here's the case. Under Strand 5.5, community engagement, what is the core difference between the expectation of career stage 1 school head and a career stage 4 school head? So we have A. CS1 focuses on parents, CS4 focuses on local government. B. CS1 involves the community and to gain support. CS4 leads the community in creating collaborative actions to solve complex issues. C. CS1 delegates community relations, CS4 manages them directly. And or D. CS1 communicates via letters, while CS4 utilizes the digital communication platform. So let's be guided. Look at the depth of the partnership. A beginner asked to help support existing school programs. An exemplary leader treats the community as co-creator capable of solving systematic problems together. All right, so the answer is option B. CS1 involves the community while CS4 leads the community. So we have here stage 1. The career stage 1 is just involved. Stage 2, it's all about initiating. Stage 3, it's about empowering. While stage 4, of course, it's leading. Policy, rational. Indicator 5.5.1 states involve the community to gain support, while 5.5.4 demands the school head to lead the community in creating collaborative action in solving complex issues. So, what's the key takeaway? Exemplary school heads do not just ask for resources, they mobilize entire community to tackle complex educational challenges. All right, to the Nash Master Key Career Stage Diagnostic Matrix. So we have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Okay, stage 1, it's all about aspiring, beginning. Stage 2, it's all about applying, managing. Stage 3, engaging and mentoring. Stage 4, leading and institutionalizing. So, what are the key verbs that you're going to remember? For stage 1, demonstrate, knowledge, identify, display, understanding. Okay, it's just display, understanding, and involve. Well, for the stage 2, implement, manage, utilize, use, and ensure. These are the verbs that you have to remember. Then for the stage three, mentor, engage, collaborate, support others, and empower. While the stage four, lead, institutionalize, systematize, exhibit exemplary practice. And the mindset is for stage one, it's just acquiring foundational rules and recognizing concepts. While the stage two, the active practitioner running the day to day system effectively. The stage three, building capacity in teachers, peers, and immediate community, while the stage four is creating permanent sustainable models of excellence that influence wider system. So, when taking the Nash, don't just read the scenario. Isolate the action verb. The verb dictate the stage. Okay? So remember that. And that would be all. Thank you so much for listening. And please don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. See you in the next review. Thank you and goodbye.